Hey guys, it is Tuesday and I went to New York Comic-Con last week. And I normally do the videos earlier, but the reason I didn't do the video at the time I normally do is because I went all 4 days. So I didn't have like a day after to recuperate and then a day to film. It was just Comic-Con, then recuperation day, and then I had school today. So, I've been quite busy. So, that's also why my video output's been a little, less than normal, because I had a lot of school, and then Comic-Con came up, so things happened. The video should be back on track by the end of October. I'm working on 2 Halloween videos and a non-Halloween video, so expect to see those in the coming weeks. Obviously, you're not here to listen to me talk about videos, you're here to listen to me talk about Comic-Con. Now, this year was different because I went all 4 days, and I've never done that before, and I am tired and exhausted, and in order to keep this video to the point and not just me rambling about what I did, I'm going to take the Vlog Brothers route and say that this video is going to come to you in 4 parts. Or rather 5 parts, 4 of them being the days talking about what happened each day, and then a little wrap-up part at the end. So, let's begin. Thursday I went, and I just sort of went as a sort of test day, because a lot of the famous people aren't there on Thursday, and the con doesn't pick up until Friday. One thing to note is that New York Comic-Con has gotten a lot bigger since I started going, to the extent that I almost didn't get tickets this year, yet the first year I went, I got 3-day tickets in August. So, make of that what you will. The con is about as big as San Diego at this point, or at least it's getting there. So, it's kind of interesting to see how the con has grown every year, and it got really crowded, and there's a lot of people, and they actually had to do off-site panels, so I don't know how that's going to go but in the coming years. But anyway, day 1, the first thing that happened was I went to the 451, the 451 booth, and got a bunch of free comics. I went there because I was with my brother and my friend, and this booth was advertising a Warriors comic, a movie that I have not seen, and I'm trying to rectify that soon. So we went to that booth and picked up free comics, and these aren't like the free comics where it's like, it's like they give you like half of an actual comic. This is like a real comic. It's relatively long. There's no page numbers, but it's longer than I expected, and here it is in the back, the ad that drove us to the booth. Can you dig it? Or rather, can you dig it? I've never seen the Warriors, so I actually don't know. So I got free comics. I haven't read them all yet. Ex Mortis is pretty cool. I obviously read it because Nazi zombies, but I'll get to that if I ever make a video about those comics after I read them. The Holy Grail of Thursday, the big thing I got was Blood Gun number 1, which, if you can see here at the bottom, there's the Top the Fourth Wall logo, because this is from the Top the Fourth Wall movie. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for showing you that, because I don't know if this has been released online yet, but consider this a sneak preview. Obviously, I'm not involved in the movie. It's just I don't know if Lewis would have wanted the poster publicized from some jackass who picked up the comic at Comic-Con. So, anyway, the comic is really good. I don't know if they're going to release it online, or I know you'll at least get to see it in the movie, obviously, and if Linkara is going to review it, you'll see the whole comic. It was a limited run, and I really like the comic. It's one of the best bad comics I've ever read. That was Thursday. Thursday, like I said, kind of a slow day, so we're going to move on to part 2, and part 2 is Friday. So, Friday, side note, I don't know if I showed my bags. This was the 4-day bags this year. So, anyway, Friday was a little different. We got there relatively early. Like, we got, me and my friend, I went with one of my friends, and we got there around 10, but we didn't go in until around 11 because we went to the Ash versus the Evil Dead trailer that they had outside, where it was Ash's trailer, where you could see all the stuff. And I watched the trailer for Ash versus the Evil Dead 15 friggin' times, probably more. But it was awesome. And at the end of the thing, you put your hand in a bowl and pulled out a card, and it decided what you got. They had a couple things. They had a button, which is what I got, a foam chainsaw, which, I don't have a picture of it, but if I find one online, I'll post it. It's essentially a foam finger that's a chainsaw, because, Ash. And the last thing you could win was a ticket to a limited signing with Bruce Campbell, which I didn't win. The girl in front of us won, which I would have really liked that. Not that I'm, like, the biggest Bruce Campbell fan, but just, I think Bruce Campbell is awesome, and I'd love to meet him. So yeah, I got a button. Then, a cool thing was, we went by the Del Rey booth, and they had this book sampler of just a bunch of the books that are in the new Star Wars canon, now that the expanded universe has been struck from the canon. And they were also giving out a free copy of Tarkin, which you would assume if they're giving it away it would be bad, but I've heard a lot of good things about this book online prior to Comic-Con, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I think I might do an episode on the show about it eventually. No promises it'll happen this year or even next year, whenever I get around to it. So, this, which I was excited, because I love books, and the last thing I got that was really just out of normalcy was this, a IDW Star Trek comic. I think the funniest thing about this comic is the ending, the tagline, because it says, I'm not going to show it because the faces are going to get recognized and it's going to not focus on the words. But essentially what it says is, your favorite Star Trek stars before they were heroes and an intrepid all-new crew navigate their first big battle, college. I love cheesy taglines like that because college, scary. Anyway, so the Holy Grail of Friday. Friday, I dedicated the whole day to doing one thing, and I did it really early on, so I had nothing to do for the rest of the day, except wait for a panel, but I did something that was on my bucket list. I met John Rhys-Davies, who played Professor Arturo on Sliders, and got him to sign my Sliders DVD set. So, I don't know if I've said this, but this is the only set of Sliders I'm willing to own on DVD and pay money for, because I hated everything else. Season 3 had good episodes, we've went over them, but I refused to pay for it because I'm paying to see the episode where Arturo died. And John Rhys-Davies, is a super nice guy. Like, he was having conversations with the people getting the autographs. Like, you just have some, famous people I've seen just, like, sign and done. And then you have people like John Rhys-Davies or like Jason David Frank, where they're just like, woo! They, like, hype they hype the crowd. And John Rhys-Davies was nice. I had a conversation. He made a joke. And on What the Fuck Is Wrong With You on Radio Dead Air last night, Tara actually was there as well and mentioned John Rhys-Davies and mentioned that he was nice. So I'm happy my experience wasn't the only John Rhys-Davies is a nice guy experience, because he was really nice. And I was, Arturo, as I've said, is my favorite character from Sliders, and meeting John Rhys-Davies was on my bucket list. I don't know if I'll get to meet the rest of the cast, but if they do, I'll want them to sign this as well. So, that was this. And then on Friday, I went to the panel for Today in Nerd Trivia, which is a dorkly panel featuring Tony Wilson from Today in Nerd History, along with Caldwell from College Humor, and a couple of other people who I can't remember their names right now, but they're associated with that sort of stuff. And so, it was an awesome panel. I dragged my friend to it, and he wasn't sure about it at first, but he left laughing. One of the things from the panel that I'm not going to explain here because I don't want to explain it and I want to see if anyone from that panel finds this video. And I'll know because if you went to that panel, I want you to comment the thing that we chanted, you know, street sharks, street sharks, street sharks. That's from the panel. So it was a reference made at the panel, and we started chanting it, and it was awesome. And the panel was awesome. Tony Wilson, I didn't actually get to speak with him because they were kind of clearing the panel hall quickly after, and my friend wanted to go home, and we were both exhausted. Not to mention that I had to go home and then prepare for day 3 of Comic-Con, so we both wanted to go home and relax and wind down, so I didn't get to meet him. But he seems nice, Tony Wilson, and I've never, obviously I haven't met him, but he seems really nice. And they invited audience members up you put your name into a bucket and they pulled out a name. I didn't get picked, but I knew the answer to every question they asked, because a lot of them were based off of previous episodes of Today in Nerd History, and I watch that show religiously whenever there's a new one. So I knew a lot of the answers, and it was awesome. And that was the end of day 2. So, on to day 3. Day 3, Saturday, was a pretty fun day for a lot of reasons. One, I got a cool Dragon Ball Z poster, which I'm going to tilt the camera up slightly to show you. It's a Resurrection F poster, in case you can't tell. And I like it. On Saturday, I didn't mention what cosplays I did, so I'll mention them quickly now. Thursday, I went as the Raggedy 11th Doctor from the 11th Hour. Friday, I wore my Black Lantern shirt, so I was technically Black Lantern Spoonie, but I didn't really dress up, and I had the ring, but it was kind of a low-key costume. Saturday, I went as, get this down, JD from Scrubs, and my friend went as Turk. And I'll put a picture up. He doesn't like being photographed from the front, so unfortunately you can't see him. This, if you don't know, is my Gizmonics Institute bags that's been hanging there for, a while, and I didn't want to take it apart until I showed it on video. I printed out a picture and put it on. It came out really well, shockingly. Printing it out was a bitch because the stack of photo paper I put in miraculously ended up having a bunch of sides reversed. So basically, every time I printed it, it came out on the wrong side. So I put it in, I flipped the stack, and then it turned out the stack was flipped on the other side too, so it came out on the wrong side. It took me 20 minutes, and I got annoyed. The Holy Grail of Saturday, my whole point on Saturday was that the League of Super Critics panel happened, which featured Lindsay from the Nostalgic Chick and Loose Cannon, Lindsay Ellis, who, I'm a huge fan of all those reviewers, but her and Nella, and Todd in the Shadows, who, again, huge fan of his show. I love One Hit Wonderland, and also Brad Jones. Cinema Snob, who I'm a fan of because I've dressed up as him in not only one video, but 3 videos, and there might be a 4th one that I'm forgetting, or a 4th one that might happen in the future. And also a Foldable Human. I can't remember his name, and I feel really bad about that, but I was kind of sitting in that panel. I was very hyped for it, because I've never been to a live reviewer panel before, because they never go to New York Comic Con, or they don't go to the big industry convention. They go to the small conventions that I don't go to because they don't happen where I live, and I can't afford a hotel, or the tickets, and I can't drive, so I can't get there. But it was so great. And then after the panel, they did a limited signing, which I got to go to. They gave wristbands out, and I went on. And it was funny. I was on the line, and the person in front of me didn't know who they were, but they knew it was free, so they just went to get a free autograph, which I would never do, mainly because, for me, autographs are when I know who the person is, and so I feel a connection to getting the autograph. I do it for personal reasons. Like when I met Rob Paulson, I didn't go up to him because it was free autographs. I went up to him because he's Rob frickin' Paulson. So anyway, I talked with them, and it was good. I feel like I might have came on a little too strong, but you know, I was kind of starstruck, and I know they find it weird. They mentioned at the panel that it's weird that they're like famous, but they're not really famous. Like they say never meet your heroes, but those people are wrong in this case, because Todd, Lindsay, and Brad are amazing people. They're very nice. So yeah, because, you know, like, I'm a reviewer, and I started reviewing because of them. Like, more specifically, Linkara, but, like, the three of them were also huge inspirations for me. I've been watching them since once I discovered That Guy with the Glasses as a website, I've been watching them. So, only about a month off of when I discovered Linkara. So anyway, I got their autograph. I didn't have anything for Todd and Lindsay because I didn't know they were doing a signing. Essentially, I knew Brad was going to be there, so I figured, and I knew he was selling DVDs, so I figured he was the only one doing a signing. So I ended up ripping a page out of a free book I got from Funimation, that I gave to my friend after I ripped the back cover off, or rather the front cover, because manga is weird, and I got Todd and Lindsay's autograph, which I will probably cherish for a while, because these are the people that inspired me to make the videos for you guys that I love. And then, of course, the big ticket item, the Cinema Snob movie on DVD, a movie that I've wanted to get for a while, and I figured, what better chance than New York Comic Con? Probably should have gotten all the DVDs he had, but I didn't want to take up too much time standing there because it was a limited signing. So I went with the one that I wanted to see most, and that was this, and you can see the autograph here. And it's also Lloyd approved, which I love having something Lloyd approved. So, Saturday was awesome, and those two things were the highlight of my day because it's something I've wanted to do for over 3 years, and I finally got to meet the reviewer people who inspire my videos, who inspired me to make my videos, and it was great, and they're super nice, and it was a wonderful experience, and I hope that they'll come again next year so that I may talk to them again. I probably wouldn't go to a signing again, but I would go to a panel. I'd ask a question. It was a Q&A panel. I didn't ask a question because I didn't have any questions for them, because essentially all my questions get answered when other people ask questions, and I also don't do well with public speaking. I would have been the person everyone hates that goes, I just wanted to, so I didn't. But yeah, Saturday, that was the holy grail of Saturday. Move on to Sunday. Oh, before I go, I also got a free t-shirt from the DK booth that said, "Be a rebel, read a book," which I probably won't wear in public exactly, considering, stuff, but, it's a sentiment that that I like in regards to my show. Read books, people. Oh, and I also got a Den of Geek magazine that had a lot of stuff about, specifically Ash vs. the Evil Dead, X-Files, fall movies, Venture Brothers, Dragon Ball Super, and Star Wars, like a lot of Star Wars stuff. And they had this really nice, really cool article about the Mafia, which I thought was cool. So I don't know if I guess this was probably a New York Comic Con exclusive, but if someone posted this online, I would check it out because it's a very good magazine. Okay, so Sunday, moving on. Sunday was cool. I didn't do much on Sunday, to be honest. There wasn't much to do. I had done everything in the preceding days. Me and my friend who went as Turk and JD, we went as Rick Sanchez and Morty Smith from Rick and Morty. And I'll put a picture up, and it's me with my bottle of iced tea, chugging it down, going, "Let's get riggedy rig." I can actually do the burp talk. "Let's get really, really wrecked." dude. So, yeah, the last thing I want to talk about is this Pokeball I got, which came with a tiny little Charizard figure. So, that's cool. And that's essentially my Comic-Con experience for this year. 4 days, lot of stress, a lot of exhaustion. But I had fun, so I recommend New York Comic-Con if you're in the area and you don't mind waiting in the ticket queue online of hell. The online ticket queue of hell. So, that was my experience at Comic-Con this year, and the TLDW thing. Met John Rhys-Davies, super nice. Met Brad, Lindsay, and Todd from that guy from Channel Awesome. They're really nice. Comic-Con is awesome. Saw a lot of cool costumes, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching, and if you liked the video, you can hit subscribe and watch one of my other videos. My videos can be found on any of these fine sites, and if you want to help out, maybe consider supporting the show on Patreon. See you next time.